Today, I'm going to be trying something that I'm not even completely sure is possible, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. I'm attempting a challenge as a Valentine special where I design, program, and craft a heart-shaped catch-all tray in just one day. In this video, I'll be sharing the entire process from complete scratch to completion, but there's just one small catch. Allow me to explain further. Long story short, it's 2 weeks till Valentine's Day, and I want to try to come up with a quick product and see if we can make a sale. Now, I know that for businesses who ship online, 2 weeks is not nearly enough time to hope to make a sale and get it to the customer in time, but I have a couple tricks up my sleeve that I hope is going to work. But let's take it one step at a time. Here I pulled out my laptop and we're going to start by creating a design from scratch on the computer. I start off by creating the design inside of an application called Inkscape. However, in this video, I'm not going to be going into detail on the computer side of things because it would just make the video too long and I would probably bore half my audience. But if that's something you think you might want, comment down below and I'll make a video on it. All right, let's check this out. So this is my spillboard system using dog holes and 3/4 inch dowels. And these are some clamps that I got the design from the Shaper Hub online. And just pound that right into place. Now for little areas like this, I usually use some pieces of wood as spacers. I'll put that right in there, put another piece and tighten it right up. And that is how we clamp it down. Now that is going nowhere. That is not going to come undone. But there is one thing that we want to do. Now you'll notice these have little holes in the ends. I like to just get a little screw and screw that right in there because the vibrations do tend to knock these loose sometimes. So that'll hold that right in place. That's going nowhere. Very nice. Now we're going to take out our spiral and put in our cove bit. Normally for this type of carve, we're going to carve out the bowl. You would use a bowl and tray bit, but I spent the last of my bucks on the CNC machine, so I don't really have a bowl and tray bit quite yet, but someday I will. Hopefully if I could sell some of these things. Okay, that looks to be about 0 right there. That's going to be 0 for our X and Y axis. And I just noticed that the piece is actually sticking up a little bit. So I'm just going to hammer it down. So because I did that, I'm going to have to redo the 0 on the Z axis. And actually that looks pretty good. All right, for the next step, we want to make sure our USB is in right there. We're going to load up our heart tray. Open that up, hit the heart bowl, the first part that we saved. And that is going to be our bowl cutout. We go to Program and MIDI and Overrides. Bring the feed down. I do not leave it at 20%. I know a lot of people think that I leave it there. I only put it down just to make sure that everything is okay, that the file is okay and nothing's going to go wrong. All there's left to do is start the carve. So let's go ahead and do it. Beautiful. That is so beautiful. I'm going to pick up the feed rate. Let's try 40%. All right, we just finished the carve. Let's go ahead and clean this up. And just like that, it's clean. So let's move on to the next part. Next, we will have to zero the bit one more time, but only for the z-axis, not for the x and y-axis. And this is actually one step that I forget all the time. So I'm glad I'm remembering it now. Even in some of my past videos, you can see me forgetting to zero out the z-axis. Next, we're going to load our next file, which is the cutout, and that is what it looks like. So let's get to cutting. Now my camera literally ran out of storage mid-cut, but that is a-okay, no big deal, because we are back. This is how the product is looking. We're going to remove our screws now, undo the clamps, and take it out. Check that out. And it looks like my calculations were super close because notice there's no marks on the table at all. So that was a really good guess on the cut. It didn't quite cut through on the bottom, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. I am just now noticing it did not put the tabs. I'm not sure why. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the file, but the product still looks very good, so it's not a big issue at all. Next step, we're gonna cut it out. Some of you guys may be wondering why I chose a piece that's going to have these little blemishes here and here. Well, I did it intentionally because one, this is just for a demonstration for the video, and two, I also wanted to show you how easy it is to get rid of stuff like that. One method is you can fill it with a wood filler. There is wood filler that matches the color of walnut and maple, etc. Unfortunately, I don't have the one that matches walnut. So we're going to do the next best thing, and we're going to plane it down just a little bit. Now this is my DeWalt DW7 something something planer. Don't remember the number, but it's a very popular planer. You can't miss it. I think it's DW735 now that I think about it. And I do have a $600 helical head inside of this thing. Kudos to China. So we're going to send it through the planer a few times and take off some slithers. And look at this. With a single pass, we already got rid of that bottom blemish. I could pass it through a few more times and get rid of this top one, but I don't want to make it too thin. So I'm actually going to leave this. I'm probably just going to put some wood filler and give this one to a family member. Next, we're going to swap out our flesh trim for a roundover. I think it's like a 3/4 roundover, something like that. I almost forgot, if we look here on the side, there's a little flat spot. And I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. That's super easy. We just take it over here to the belt sander. So to get rid of this, all we got to do is sand it out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That has got to be one of the easiest parts of this. You can't even tell it was ever there. Look at that. No flat spot. And now I do believe we are ready for the roundover. Wow, that looks really nice. I like it. Now I'm also going to round out the inside edge here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I did run into a slight problem, but that's okay because as a woodworker, this is something we commonly run into. And a lot of the times we have to use our problem solving skills to try to fix them. So what's going on here is if we look closely, you can actually see that the bearing was riding up on the round over part here. So I was unable to round over this inside edge. I got some parts like up here, which actually looks really good in my opinion. We could use the CNC machine, but I don't have a round over for the CNC. There's only one other way we can do this, and that is doing it manually. I actually have these cool little sanding attachments for the drill I'm going to use for this. And just like that, we hit it real lightly, and I actually think that looks nice. It's not a super large round over like the outside, but it does look good. I'm going to finish this off by sanding the inside as well as the outside. And what's cool about this sanding wheel in particular is you'll notice it has these little tabs around the edges, and these actually work to sand the sidewalls so that it gets up into that inner round over. These are actually made specifically for catch-all trays and bowls. This option is, in my opinion, the best. I have here what is called CA glue, and this is the brand for the particular one I'm using. Basically, this is no different than super glue. The only difference is that this one dries very, very fast, very rapidly. It'll dry in like literally 10 seconds. Once we have the CA glue in the hole, I like to let it sit for roughly a minute, and I see a little bubble. I'm going to try to get that bubble out. Otherwise that bubble will be there for eternity. I actually filled it most of the way, but not all the way because we're going to do another layer. So once that's been sitting for a good minute, make sure this is out of the way. We're going to get our activator. This is the spray, and we're just going to give it a good spray. This stuff evaporates very, very quickly. You can already see it evaporating in the air. It'll be dry in like a minute. And just like that, it's already dry. I'm going to go ahead and put one more layer and then we'll sand it down. And as we can see, it dried up perfectly. And there we have a perfect repair. That is wonderful. Last, but far from least, I'm going to get me a set of gloves. These gloves are really nice in my opinion. We're going to slap a set of those on. And we're going to get some Howard's cutting board oil. Now this is very common. You could find it at Home Depot, Lowe's, or many other places. This is one of my favorite parts. And I like to get these real thick napkins. You could actually get these from the auto store, Home Depot, stuff like that. I'm going to fold it up and we're going to spread that oil right in there, all up in there. Look how beautiful that is. Make sure you apply a really generous coat because you want it to soak as deep into the wood as possible. And you can already see this oil bringing out that super rich, beautiful dark colors in that wood. Check that out. We're going to turn it around and do the same thing to the back. So, earlier in the video, I mentioned I didn't even know if this was going to be possible, and that was mainly because it's a little bit less than 2 weeks before Valentine's Day, and it's unlikely I'm going to make any sales from now to then, but I have a plan B. Check it out. So we're here in my room. This is my computer, and let me show you guys plan B. And that plan is Facebook Marketplace. I like to live by the saying in that it's better to try and fail than it is to have never tried at all. So that being said, I'm at least going to give it a shot, put my product out there and see if we get any bites. And worst case scenario, at least we had fun and I have a product for next year. I am also going to make a Facebook post and see what we get. Post. I can't believe it, guys. To my surprise, I actually got a sale. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I didn't think I was gonna get any sales because it's 2 days left till Valentine's Day. I had made the original post, I think it was about a week ago now. And if you guys have ever tried to start a small business, you guys know it's very hard to make any kind of sales online. So I'm pretty stoked and pretty excited that I actually got a sale 2 days before Valentine's. I think this is a good time to mention to you guys, if you're interested in checking out my products, check them out at mycraftmanship.com. Link will be in the description. Also, I greatly appreciate anybody who is willing to help out and support. So thank you guys very much. And this is also a huge moment for my YouTube channel. I am, I think, like 30 subscribers away from hitting 500. So I just want to thank you guys for, supporting me and sticking around, watching my content, and being here with me for this huge milestone of mine. I've had my channel for, I think, 7 years now, and I'm finally gonna hit 500. So super happy about that. Thank you guys for following.